First question I have for you is why did you decide to trust a random stranger on the internet to save your marriage?
Um, like many people that, you know, go through this, you're Googling and trying to find something. And after a while, the algorithm worked and your stuff started showing up in my feed. And I was like, oh, yes, please. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So, um, yeah, when you're that desperate, to save your marriage, you'll throw as much money as it takes to do it.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
um, absolutely. It wasn't just you. I went all in with everything, right? Uh, Joined a CrossFit gym, found a separate therapist on my own, went to the doctor to get diagnosed with like anti-anxiety, antidepressants. Uh, yeah, changed up the wardrobe, all this stuff. So,
Yeah,
um,
complete transformation on the external
yes,
first, right? As you
absolutely.
were trying to work on
Yes.
the internal, and
Yep.
I'm sure we'll get more into that. But so what was the catalyst that caused you to reach out? Like I know there's like a slow burn for most guys, but then there's something she says or something that happens that caused you to then start searching. What was that?
You mean in our relationship?
Yeah, like did she say something? Did she give you the divorce papers? Was another guy in the picture?
Yeah.
Like what
So,
happened that caused you to start
um,
searching?
we back in early, like the first week of October, we took a vacation to Germany and Austria for 10 days. Um, 3 days after we got back, I was laying in bed. It was a Sunday morning. I kind of screwed away her birthday because her birthday happened in Germany and I didn't really plan for it, right? So I was like, all right, I got to go hard for our anniversary. So I'm like Googling stuff for our anniversary. It was going to be our 12th anniversary here in about a month. Well, a month from that point. And she rolls over. It's Sunday morning. She's like, hey, do we have time to talk about us? And I'm like, what about us? Right? I thought we were great. I was clueless. And she said, I'm not happy. I want a divorce. And it just hit me out of nowhere. Um,
Wow. No
she's a
warning signs at
classic
all.
avoidant. Not to me, right? So she's very much, I didn't know what attachment styles were before any of this. I learned all about that. But looking at everything now, she's a classic avoidant. I think I've seen her cry maybe 5 times in our entire marriage. um, Super workaholic, always staying busy, and that's to bottle her emotions. So she's all about keeping the peace at all costs. So she would tell me things like, "Hey, can you get off your phone?" In the same manner that she'd say, "Hey, can you take the trash out?" Right? Things that were a big deal for her, she didn't really, um, she didn't let it be known that she was unhappy or what her boundaries were. I don't think she knew what her boundaries are, but I was feeling sorry for myself that whole day. And I was like, you know what? There's got to be more to this. I've trusted her implicitly throughout my whole Navy career. Um, and I just had a feeling, right? So I've never spied on her before ever. When she told me about this, I was like, is there anyone else? And she's like, no, there's no one else. Um, but she lost a whole bunch of weight here in like the last 5 months. Started dressing nicer, right? So I was like, you know what? Let me look. And I looked on her phone. I saw a bunch of texts with a coworker. I eventually confronted her about that. She admitted to it, finally. And then I did the classic needy, chasing, insecure, everything. And that week is where I found you guys. And
I
um,
see.
yeah, hit me out of nowhere. So it surprised everybody, her family, my family, our mutual friends. Like nobody saw this come, and everyone's just like, "What the heck?" Like we thought you guys were like the best, you know, stereotypical happy couple.
Right.
So
And
yeah,
was she like, first of all, let me ask you, how long ago in the program did you join?
um, I joined that week, so like second week of October, I believe.
Okay. So it's been
Yeah,
like 3 months, give or take, maybe
yeah,
4.
yeah.
Yeah. And was she completely, did she move out immediately? Was she checked out? Like what happened after that?
um, so once I found out that it was an affair and I admitted to her, she backed off and wanted to wait and see. But I told her it was upon that I learned that she was playing the wait and see game because she was afraid that I was going to tell everybody about the affair, right? So she was with me for the wrong reasons. I was like, well, if that's the case, you're with me for the wrong reasons. I'd rather you just, you know, rip off the band-aid. So um I suggested to her, how about in order to take that power away from me, you tell people. Plus, maybe you'll get some advice out of it in the process, right? Um, so she wanted to wait till after the holidays to drop papers on me. That whole time. So yeah, for the first couple weeks, I was super needy. But I put my head down, dug into the coursework, journaled every single night, went to a bunch of the group calls. I had to do a lot of the group calls on replay, but I was bothering Hannah nonstop. Hannah's my CSM. You could ask her. I was messaging her
Yeah,
so much.
good
Actually, one of my war room calls with Stacy earlier than planned because I was just, yeah, I was going nonstop.
for sure.
But eventually it just got to a point, where you think you're done, you think you're in the acceptance phase, right? But then something happens and you realize you're not. And then you move a little bit more towards acceptance and you realize you're not. Um, I don't know what happened exactly. I don't know if I could put a specific moment in time where it happened, but just something just clicked like, let go, like really let go.
So
So
I hear a lot of guys say the word let go, and I know what it means to me, and I think we have the same definition, but what does it mean to you to let go? What did that mean? What did that look like? What did that feel like?
just let go of control, let go of acceptance does not mean that you're accepting the outcome. It just means letting go of trying to control the outcome. Um,
So I'm gonna act like I don't know. I'm gonna play ignorant, right? Because
okay.
so like if I'm a guy and I'm like, well, okay, you're saying let go, so stop trying to win her back. Is that what you're saying?
No, but just stop trying to take control of the situation. No, the only thing you have control about is your reaction to the world around you. So,
What were
um,
some ways you were trying to control the situation, and then once you let go, you stopped? What's one way?
oh, just the covert contracts, right?
Right.
So I told her I forgave her. And then
Hmm.
I realized in hindsight, I really only forgave her if she would come back to me, right? And
Yeah.
that was a huge one, right? So once I realized that, I'm like, okay, I'm still not there. Um,
It's like internally a guy like look and excuse my language, but it's like a guy says, "Oh, I forgive you." She's like, "Okay, well, I'm still not coming back." Well, then fuck you then, right? It's like, did
yes,
you really forgive
yes,
her? Right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So just recently, like a week or two ago, I told her I fully forgave her, like, maybe about a month ago. But just last week, I told her, hey, we have a daughter together. And I told her that, hey, tell the affair partner, the one she's still talking to that she used to work with, that I fully, I forgive him. And I realize if he wants to be a part of your life, that also means he wants to be a part of our daughter's lives. And she's about to be a preteen now. So we're going to need all the help we can get. And I'd like to have a beer with him at some point before you introduce him to her. So that felt really good to be able to get to that point. So in talking to my therapist, I never thought I would have been at that point
Wow.
so fast. So, um, yeah, so I did let go. One thing that helped too was dipping my toe in the online dating profile thing, right? So, um, and I put a profile out there just to see, just to start moving forward, Um, I'd still don't tell her this, but I'd still take her back in a second. Honestly, I don't know if I would though. I'm getting to
Mm-hmm.
that point. I'm getting to that point, but started talking to a few people and just in a really good place right now. So I went back to school full time. I'm the oldest person in my school at U of H, probably in a
Nice.
bunch of classes. I'm older than a couple professors.
What do
Um,
you go to school for?
environmental engineering.
Oh,
So
wow. Wow.
yeah, super hippie. Yeah. But really excited about that. I did a full holistic approach, mind, body, soul. I used you guys for the mind part and the soul part, right? Um, I do want to mention a couple things like Rock's thing about the saboteurs and sages. That was huge. Um, we have a Houston BIA group chat for all the people in and around Houston. There's like 10 of us. We ping ideas off each other regularly. That's been great. So
Ryan,
it's really
can I go a little bit more about the So like one thing I like to figure out is part of this learning process is like where you're at now. If correct me if I'm wrong, but like it feels like you're at a higher echelon of peace through this, like
Oh,
working through the pain.
absolutely. Absolutely.
What are some of the things you've done? Like what is one thing, let's start here, from this whole entire journey that you've learned through the program or the coaches that has helped get there? You said letting go. We talked about that. What's another one?
Um, I don't know if I could pinpoint one specific thing. So, um, the group calls have helped a lot. The leaning on the BIAs locally has also helped so much. Um, Obviously your lessons, right? Not to take anything away from you. Um, but a couple of the books, like The Untethered Soul was like one of the books that really did it for me. That made me get like, you
Mm,
know, uh just I don't want to say enlightened, but just I think once I got probably three-quarters of the way through that book, I was like, man, holy shit,
you get it. You get it.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah. But
did that answer your question?
it did answer my question to a large
Okay.
degree. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think. So you said letting go. I want to go back into that a little bit. You said breathing untethered soul. Was there any actions or things that happened or that you've done that led to that letting go process? Because to be honest with you, I do have exercises and I know how to personally let go, but teaching others is hard. So I want to learn from you. Like, what was it a slow burn, like I said, or was it just like something that profound that happened? Like, wow, this is gonna make me realize to let go.
It was a slow burn. I mean, people say, oh, 3 months, 4 months, how's it a slow burn? But I guess I've been through this before with a previous ex-wife, so and I'd like to think I'm pretty resilient, but um, you think you're done, you want to move forward, you keep harping on in the course about letting go, and so I kept trying to get to that point, and then I think the best graphic is, thinking you're done, and then something triggers you. Thinking you're done, and then
Mhm.
something triggers you. Thinking you're so slow burn. Like I said, was it one specific point? Honestly, I don't know if this is going to help your course or advertising or not, but the thing that really made it was like once I dipped my toe in the dating pool just to start to move forward, like that's when you realize, holy shit, there's I'm gonna be okay, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we are hot commodities, especially I was telling Stacy, my coach, right? Like all the stuff that I learned through this course, um, I'm applying it with people I'm meeting. And if I could show you like screenshots, just like just the validation and the,
Hmm.
empathizing and mirroring and labeling and,
Yeah.
the eye contact, all that stuff that comes from all the courses, all the readings, just like it's been nice.
You're
I'm
on a
in
different
a
level.
oh yeah. And I take a lot of stuff I learned from here and apply it in there's like another Facebook group for like I see a bunch of, sad exes or divorcees and they're just feeling sorry for themselves. And I'm dropping all these pearls and tidbits from your course in
Yeah.
that group and to the point where I'm like a top expert in that group. And it's really
Nice.
just all the stuff I learned in this course. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
That's awesome. That's awesome,
it's
Ryan.
been great. Yeah.
Yeah. What is, I guess, like one area of your life where like, well, you mentioned letting go, but like, and you mentioned, I mean, you said a lot of things to be honest, but um, I guess let me ask. I like asking this question actually. If you could go back 6 months to a year and give yourself a piece of advice, something you needed to hear in that moment, what would it be?
Prior to her dropping the bomb on me,
Yeah.
yes. Uh I'd shake myself and say, wake up, you're about to lose her, and you're totally
Mm,
oblivious. And it's funny too. So a lot of these patterns, of things that cause our spouses to, start looking elsewhere or seek validation elsewhere are learned behaviors from our parents, right? Um, and my dad, he's God bless him, but he would never validate. He'd always like blow off any concerns of my mom or my stepmom, right? Um, they came down to Houston to visit after this whole mess, and it was right when I was in the mess of all the thick of the coursework, and I'm hearing her blow her blowing him. I'm hearing him blow her off while they're staying there visiting with me, and I light into him like, freaking learn from me, man. Like you're about to come on, like so being able to realize not just what I was able to do, but what I was able to catching it in others, right? Catching it in my father, right? Because to learn behavior and being able to catch that and identify it, and like I shared all the lessons with my father, a couple of people I've been leaning on closely through the course. So that's helped a bunch of other people as well. It's helped my father. So he didn't.
It's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing, right?
Uh,
I would say when it comes to your relationship with your wife, right?
uh,
Um, what does that look like currently?
she we're in a good place now. Um, I went with the coursework. I thought I was making progress because I'd read everything as a win, right? But turns out it was just that super avoidant behavior about needing to keep the peace above all costs, right? I was flirting with her and she was smiling. I was taking that as a win. That was her just keeping the peace, right? So, all these things. But right now we're successfully co-parenting. I told her she doesn't need to walk on eggshells around me anymore. Um, we have a fairly good relationship. We're, sharing laughs and stuff, but I'm not, I'm done chasing her. I'm letting her live her life, letting her do her thing with her person, and I'm off doing my thing. She served me January 3rd. So in the state of Texas, it's a minimum 60 days wait, right? So March 4th, it should be finalized. We've successfully mediated to the point where we don't need to go to courts. Um, so she's been very appreciative of all of that, and I see a lot of people in the course to where, sometimes the spouses, they don't accept anything until you start to agree with them and allow the divorce to move forward. And that's helped a lot with our relationship, is just
Good.
allowing her to give her that peace and give her what she wants there. And, you know, I was concerned. I told her several times I was concerned, and it wasn't like an implied threat or anything, but I really was concerned that I'd worry that I'd be doing all this work and then eventually I'd get to a point where I don't want her anymore. And she realizes she made a mistake, 6 months, a year or two from now. And I don't want to say I'm at that point yet, but it's getting closer and closer because I'm still doing readings. I'm still watching group calls.
You know, I've seen it. I obviously can't predict the future,
Yeah.
but what I have seen far too many times for it to be a coincidence is that process happens more than you would probably think. I don't know how much you think it happens, but it happens probably more than you think. Um, where I've seen guys, it's like, yeah, that moment they move on to another woman that they're into, the thing with the guy ends, and guess who starts like openly flirting and trying to seduce? And at
Uh-huh.
that point, it is a test, not from her, but from I don't know if you believe in God or
Yeah.
spirit or universe, but it's a
Yeah.
test from the universe. But I've seen that happen right. Like you'd be shocked at how many times I've seen that happen. That
Yeah.
phenomenon. It's like the
Yeah.
moment the guy moves on, the moment it's like she feels it in the freaking collective consciousness
Yeah.
of you. That's like that completely detached energy from her, and you're good on your own 100%. And that's what a woman
Yes.
wants, right?